Theatre companies often need a lot of electrical power for their shows. The company tiebreaker is how they plug in their gear to the building's power. The most common connector for this is the cam-lok. These are big, strong connectors that make a safe electrical connection. They come in different sizes for different power needs. While there's no single official way to connect, most theatres do things in a similar way. Firstly, the theatre has a special breaker just for company tie-ins, usually a 400 amp breaker. Secondly, cam-lok connectors are put on a panel or box in a certain area of the theatre. Thirdly, the theatre's electrical team gives the company a short cable with cam-lok connectors on both ends, called a whip, to connect their equipment to the tie-in panel. Cam-lok systems are flexible. The number and size of breakers for company tie-ins can change depending on the theatre and what the company needs. Safety is very important. Ensure the cam-lok connectors can handle the amount of electricity being used. Only use cam-lok connectors that are in good shape and not damaged. Lock the connectors tightly to prevent them from coming loose. Always follow safety rules and ask qualified electricians for help to make sure everything is safe. Some theatres may also have a neutral tie for the company to connect their neutral wires. The banana plug connectors you saw might be for extra power or grounding, but they are not usually used for company tie-ins. It's always a good idea to talk to the company or production manager to know what their exact electrical needs are and to make sure the power connection goes smoothly. When dealing with electrical systems in a theatre environment, several key considerations must be addressed to ensure safety and operational efficiency. These considerations span across various aspects of the electrical infrastructure, from the initial service entrance to the final connections made by the visiting production companies. Firstly, the main service entrance is the critical point where electrical power is received from the utility company. It is imperative to ensure that the service entrance is adequately sized to handle the maximum anticipated load of the theatre, including lighting, sound, HVAC, and any other equipment that may be in use. This sizing should account for future expansion and potential increases in power demand. Secondly, the distribution panels within the theatre play a vital role in distributing power to various circuits and equipment. These panels must be properly labeled and maintained to ensure that electricians can quickly and easily identify the correct circuits for each piece of equipment. Regular inspections should be conducted to check for any signs of wear, corrosion, or overheating. Thirdly, the grounding system is essential for safety. A properly installed and maintained grounding system provides a path for fault currents to flow back to the source, tripping circuit breakers and preventing electrical shock hazards. The grounding system should be tested regularly to ensure its effectiveness. The company tie-in, which allows visiting production companies to connect their own electrical equipment to the theatre's power supply, requires special attention. The company tie-in should be designed to accommodate a variety of connector types and amperage ratings to meet the needs of different productions. Firstly, cam-lok connectors are the most common type of connector used for company tie-ins due to their ruggedness, reliability, and ease of use. These connectors are available in various sizes and configurations to handle different amperage and voltage requirements. Secondly, the company tie-in panel should be located in a convenient and accessible location, typically near the stage or loading dock. The panel should be clearly labeled and equipped with appropriate overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers or fuses, to protect the theatre's electrical system from overload. Thirdly, a dedicated neutral and ground connection should be provided for the company tie-in. This ensures that the visiting production company has a reliable reference point for their electrical equipment, minimizing the risk of ground loops and other electrical problems. The electrical system must comply with all applicable codes and standards, including the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and any local regulations. Firstly, the NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. It is essential to consult the NEC during the design and installation of the electrical system. Secondly, local regulations may impose additional requirements or restrictions on electrical installations. It is important to be aware of these regulations and to ensure that the electrical system complies with them. Thirdly, regular inspections should be conducted by qualified electrical inspectors to verify that the electrical system is installed and maintained in accordance with all applicable codes and standards. Lighting systems in theaters are often complex and require careful planning and execution. Firstly, stage lighting is used to create visual effects, highlight performers, and set the mood for the production. Stage lighting systems typically consist of a variety of lighting fixtures, including spotlights, floodlights, and automated lighting systems. Secondly, house lighting is used to illuminate the audience area. House lighting systems should be designed to provide adequate illumination for audience members to find their seats and read their programs without causing glare or distraction. Thirdly, emergency lighting is essential for safety. Emergency lighting systems should be designed to provide adequate illumination for occupants to evacuate the theater safely in the event of a power outage or other emergency. Sound systems in theaters are used to amplify the voices of performers, play music, and create sound effects. Firstly, the sound system should be designed to provide clear and intelligible sound throughout the theater. The sound system should be properly tuned and calibrated to ensure that the sound is evenly distributed and free from distortion. Secondly, microphones are used to pick up the voices of performers and other sound sources. Microphones should be carefully selected and positioned to minimize background noise and feedback. Thirdly, loudspeakers are used to project the sound to the audience. Loudspeakers should be carefully selected and positioned to provide optimal coverage and sound quality. Safety is paramount when working with electrical systems in a theater environment. Firstly, all electrical work should be performed by qualified electricians who are trained and experienced in working with electrical systems. Secondly, personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves, safety glasses, and insulated tools should be used when working with electrical systems. Thirdly, lockout-tagout procedures should be followed to ensure that electrical circuits are de-energized before any work is performed. The 400-amp 208-volt breaker labeled company tie is a critical component of the theater's electrical infrastructure, providing a connection point for visiting production companies to power their equipment. It is essential to ensure that this breaker is properly sized, installed, and maintained to meet the needs of the theater and the visiting companies. The banana plugs near the company tie breaker may be for auxiliary power or grounding purposes, but this is not a standard practice for company tie-ins. It is advisable to investigate the purpose of these plugs and to ensure that they are properly labeled and protected. Standard practices for company tie-ins typically involve the use of cam-lok connectors, which provide a secure and reliable electrical connection. The theater usually provides a dedicated breaker for company tie-ins, typically a 400-amp breaker, and cam-lok connectors are mounted on a panel or box located in a designated area of the theater. The theater's electrical crew may also provide a whip or short cable with cam-lok connectors on both ends to connect the company's equipment to the tie-in panel. Flexibility is a key consideration in designing the company tie-in system. The number and amperage of breakers dedicated to company tie-ins can vary based on the theater's capacity and the specific requirements of the traveling company. This allows the theater to accommodate a wide range of productions without requiring extensive modifications to the electrical system. Safety considerations are paramount when working with company tie-ins. Ensure that the cam-lok connectors are properly rated for the amperage and voltage of the equipment being used. Only use cam-lok connectors that are in good condition and free of any damage. Lock the connectors securely to prevent accidental disconnection, and follow all safety protocols and consult with qualified electrical personnel to ensure safe operation. It is always advisable to coordinate with the traveling company or production manager to determine their specific electrical requirements and ensure a smooth and efficient power connection. This coordination should include a review of the company's electrical load requirements, the type of connectors they use, and any special safety considerations. The NEC provides specific requirements for the installation and maintenance of electrical systems in theaters, including requirements for company tie-ins. These requirements are designed to ensure the safety of the theater staff, the visiting production companies, and the audience. The NEC Article 520 covers theaters, audience areas of motion picture and television studios and similar locations. It provides requirements for wiring and equipment used in these locations, including requirements for disconnecting means, overcurrent protection, and grounding. The NEC Section 520.45 specifically addresses the supply and provides guidelines for the number and rating of supply conductors. It is essential to consult the NEC and any applicable local codes and standards to ensure that the company tie-in system complies with all applicable requirements. Regular inspections and maintenance are essential to ensure the safe and reliable operation of the company tie-in system. These inspections should include a visual inspection of the cam-lok connectors, the breakers, and the wiring to check for any signs of damage or wear. The breakers should be tested regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly and will trip in the event of an overcurrent. The grounding system should be tested to ensure that it is providing a low impedance path for fault currents. A coordination with the traveling company or production manager should include a review of the company's electrical load requirements, the type of connectors they use, and any special safety considerations. This coordination should take place well in advance of the production's arrival at the theatre to allow ample time to address any potential issues. The training of theatre staff is essential to ensure the safe and efficient operation of the company tie-in system. Theatre staff should be trained on the proper use of cam-lok connectors, the location of the company tie-in panel, and the procedures for connecting and disconnecting the visiting company's equipment. They should also be trained on the potential hazards associated with electrical systems and the appropriate safety precautions to take. The documentation of the company tie-in system is essential for future reference and troubleshooting. This documentation should include a detailed wiring diagram of the system, a list of the components used, and a record of any inspections or maintenance performed. The documentation should be kept in a safe and accessible location. The use of a qualified electrical contractor is essential for the design, installation, and maintenance of the company tie-in system. A qualified electrical contractor will have the experience and expertise necessary to ensure that the system is installed correctly and safely, and that it complies with all applicable codes and standards. The electrical contractor should be licensed and insured. Remember that dealing with electricity is dangerous, and safety should always be the top priority. Do not attempt to work on electrical systems unless you are qualified and have the necessary training and experience.